3 enemy ships sat safely inside a neutral harbor. Everyone believed they were impossible to reach. Before sunrise, British commandos would make all 3 disappear without firing a single shot. The ships weren't protected by powerful battleships. They were protected by neutrality. Any attack inside a Spanish harbor could trigger an international crisis Britain desperately wanted to avoid. British intelligence refused to accept the impossible. Instead of destroying the ships, they approved an even riskier plan. The commandos would steal them and leave before anyone realized what had happened. Only a handful of commandos were selected. Every man understood that if the mission failed, Britain could deny they had ever existed. Hours after sunset, the commandos crossed open water in complete silence. Ahead of them, the lights of Santa Isabel slowly appeared. Beyond those lights waited 3 enemy ships that no one believed could ever be stolen. Shortly after midnight, the commandos reached Santa Isabel. The harbor looked completely peaceful. Harbor lights reflected across the water, while the 3 enemy ships rested exactly where British intelligence had predicted. They slowed their engines almost to a stop. Every sound echoed across the quiet harbor. The giant steel hull now stood only a few meters away. Grappling hooks flew through the darkness. Seconds later, the first commando climbed toward the enemy deck. If anyone raised the alarm now, the mission would end before it truly began. The crew never expected anyone to board their ship. Most surrendered before understanding what was happening. Britain had captured its first vessel without firing a single shot. Within minutes, British commandos controlled the bridge. Thick mooring lines were cut, engines came to life, and the impossible operation entered its most dangerous phase. 2 more ships still had to be taken before dawn. Capturing 1 ship wasn't enough. 2 more still remained inside the harbor. Every passing minute increased the risk that someone would finally notice the impossible theft unfolding before their eyes. In less than an hour, British commandos controlled all 3 vessels. No battle had taken place. No alarm had sounded. The impossible mission was somehow working. One by one, the stolen ships slipped out of the harbor. The commandos had entered with 1 small boat. They were leaving with 3 enemy ships. At sunrise, confusion spread across the harbor. The mooring lines were still there. The docks were still there. But 3 massive ships had completely vanished. One by one, the stolen ships slipped away from the harbor. No alarms echoed through the night. No guns opened fire. By the time anyone realized what was happening, Britain's most daring naval theft was already underway. As dawn broke over Santa Isabel, the impossible became reality. 3 enormous ships were gone. Only empty docks and loose ropes remained behind. Nobody understood what had happened. There had been no explosions, no gunfire, and no warning. Somehow, 3 enemy ships had vanished during a perfectly quiet night. The shocking report quickly reached German headquarters. 3 valuable ships had disappeared without a battle, exposing one of the most embarrassing security failures of the war. Back in Britain, the mission was celebrated in complete secrecy. The commandos had achieved every objective and escaped before anyone could react. Operation Postmaster proved that history isn't always changed by the biggest battles. Sometimes, the greatest victories happen so quietly that the enemy doesn't realize they've already lost.